So by applying this, we can study the plants around the globe. So today we can go through these aspects of such type of studies. Done by our Ajaryas in various aspects by applying various types of theories. So by applying all these things, they come to a conclusion that Jagat Dev Manaushava. As nothing in this world is non-medicinal. Everything is medicinal. So it's not a simple phrase. It has so much of meaning. How we can find the medicinal qualities that will be existing in a plant material. So with all your permission, we can start the topics that how we can understand the plants through Ayurvedic principles. Sadguruve Namaha. Om Prapancha Shaktiyaya Namaha. Dear friends, so we can see that nature is such a diverse and a beautiful thing. So in this photo itself, you can see that a plant that is coming out from the mud, and then it is passing through the water and reaching to the sunlight and the air. So through the different density of medium, this plant is growing and then it is coming out. This flower is also coming out like that. And when it is open up, it has having a very good aroma and some other things that will be secreting as a very tasty thing, honey. And a bee is coming to gather all these things. So there is an instinct that is residing in the plant kingdom and animal kingdom for both ways of sharing and caring. And no one is teaching that this bee has to come to this flower and take this. They have an instinct that residing in this. So every life in this universe has an instinct to know about the nature and to enjoy the nature and to utilize the nature. So human being also a creature that existing in this universe by utilizing the innumerable instincts that residing in their mind and brain. So by utilizing of sense organs and observations in the nature, they are able to sustain and dominate it in this universe as a main species. Ayurveda is a science which looking into these aspects with a science of theories and principles. So that is the specialty in this science. Along with our instincts and our wisdom, we are utilizing a specific type of theories that will help to elicit a planned use and to systematically we can apply this theory for identifying other plants. So if you look into the scenario of plants around the globe, we can see that there will be 3,91,900 plants, flowering plants are available. Among that, only 31,000 of plants has single documented uses. There are so many plants existing and so many local informations are also available, but documented uses we can see in nearly 31,000. If you look into Indian scenario also, we have 18,000 flowering plants. That is the 6 to 7% of world flora. And in Ayurveda, if you are seeing, we are using nearly 600 species frequently, and nearly 2,000 species are mentioned in Ayurveda. But when you look into the traditional medicine, we can see that 8,000 species are used for various types of traditional practice. This shows that how much rich available ethno-medical information are spread in the local peoples. So it's our duty to look into these traditional knowledges or traditional inventions and to change that inventions into a scientific way by utilizing Ayurvedic principles. This is one of the important part we have to look because as Ayurveda is evolved through all these things only. So if someone is inventing a plant thing in the forest by some shepherds or those people are residing in the forest and everything. That's why Charagacharyas tell that Avipasya, Upasya, Anyaja, Manamasina. Those people dwelling near to the nature, they know about something. And from them, we have to collect the informations and then it has to be modified into a proper Ayurvedic way of utilization by proper collection, proper processing, proper samyogam with an yogam, and giving in the proper time for a particular disease conditions. That is the duty of a Vidya. So, like that one aspect we have. Another aspect is how we can help the now evolving modern scientific world to identify a plant quality with our Ayurvedic concepts. Why it is needed means, if you look into the present scenario, only 20% is chemically evaluated. Only 20% of plant materials are chemically evaluated for knowing about some chemical things that is present in that. On that also, if you look alkaloids, only the alkaloids, only 21,200 isolated alkaloids are done by other scientists. On that also, 70% of these only alkaloids are subjected for some bioassays. And this shows that innumerable things are existing in the plants and we are not able to know about the proper activity of these plants. So in the present time, if someone want to extract a plant molecule or a chemical from the plant source, they have to do so much of studies, experiments. And after that, they will taking out one chemical and then they have to undergo some pharmacological studies in the animals. And then only we can do these things in the humans. So it's a long process. It needs so much of effort of different scientists from different fields, along with so much of amount of money is also necessary. So a millions of dollars sometimes is necessary for finding out a molecule from a plant. So here comes the utilization of Ayurvedic principles also. We can say that these are the probabilities of chemicals that may present in this plant, and you can directly go for the studies of these things. Then we can trespass the time period and reduce the amount of money that's spent for such type of experiments. In all these means, if we apply the Ayurvedic principles, we have a very bright future for invention of new drugs. So like that, if you see some of the examples from the nature that the local peoples, how they are doing these types of experiments. So in this video, you can see that a glowing green yellowish plant is growing on the rocky surface where there will be only 1 or 2 centimeters of sand is there. So because of the less resources in this particular area, the plant has to do some adaptations. You can see here. So this is the plants which is growing in only with a small amount of sand and water. So what the plant will do? The plant has to gather the required nutrients and other things by some other means. For that purpose, the plant will make some adaptations. And what they will do means, they will produce some small hairy like things, and on that hairy like things, they will secrete some digestive juices. So these digestive juices will catch the butterflies and small insects and will digest it and engulf it, and that will be used for the sustainability of this plant. So this is observed by the peoples, those who are residing along with the nature. And they found that a plant can has a capacity to digest the animal kingdom cells and making it into another form and used for their energy sustainability. So by simple logical, they found that this is having an Ushna Viryam, a hot potency that can able to digest the tissues wherever it is an unnecessarily grown. So this plant traditionally used to reduce the sizes of masses that occurred inside our body. And the same plant is used as a cremicnum and anthelmintic also. And it is used to increase the digestive power also. And some local peoples used this for making some tattoos. So for preparation of the natural tattoos, this plant is using. So all these indicate that this plant has having an Ushna Viryam, a hot potency, and that hot potency can increase the hotness inside our body. And sometimes some unwanted things are occurred that can be digested by this. So by these informations from the locals, may some other systems also utilize it. So these references you can see in Siddha system that they taken this plant as a source for Ayurveda, one of the divine plant that used for various types of difficult diseases. So this is one of the plant source as an Ayurveda. Means a plant which is weeping always. And the interesting factor is, recently the scientists found that this plant has having an alkaloid called the plumbagin. That plumbagin is doing these actions. And if you look into our Ayurvedic classics, we can see that Chitraga, Plumbago silanica is having this plumbagin as alkaloid. So we have two different family members, different plant species, but they are possessing the same hot potency and the same chemical compounds. This shows that the approach of Ayurvedic Ajaryas to look into the plants in some other means is very useful for identifying the ideal chemical constituents that existing in different plant sources. So like that, if we are bringing up the traditional medicinal informations, observations of the nature, along with the applications of our theories, we can find out the uses of plants around the globe so that the new plant sources can be exploited for a particular diseased conditions. So by these things, we can look how our Ajaryas are used or applied various theories for identifying the plant. So here we found that the three basic character features that essentially we have to know is, one is the character feature of matter and the important properties that residing in that matter and the actions what they are providing. So matter, properties and action, Dravya, Gunam and Karma. These are the three basic things we have to find out. So these things has to be studied in a specific manner. For that, our Acharyas are given an authoritative statements like Aptobadesha. So these are the character features of this. And if you found that these character features are residing in a matter, you can infer that this will be having these types of properties and actions. So for that purpose, with these informations, we have to apply our Pratyaksha Pramana, our perceptual capacities, then our inference capacities, and our yukti, the logic, the wisdom, the application of intelligence. So at least if we apply these principles, surely we can found that it will be applicable to every life forms that will be existing in the earth. So here we have to look into the basics of some matter properties. Means some of the Aptopradesha that will be, or the statements or the theory that proposed by our Ajaryas. One of the important and basic theory is the Panchabodhika theory. So this indicates that how a matter has to be analyzed. What are the means you can identify the predominance of a matter in a substance? For that, already all of you know that what are the character features and other things. Just I am refreshing through simple terms. So we can go through very fast through that. So if you are seeing a matter which is having the predominance of Prithvi, a matter which is having the predominance of Prithvi, then that has having a Guru, heavy in nature, Stula, bulk or huge in nature, and a Sthira, stable in nature. So a substance which is having Guru, Stula, Sthira, a heavy, bulk and stable, then we can say that this matter has having the predominance of Prithvi. So if you are getting a particular tuber and that tuber has having a weight, it is having a bulk and it is stable, staying for 3 or 4 months or 6 months, then you can say that this tuber has having the predominance of Prithvi matter. So you can take one example. If you are having a potato and if you are having a Suranam amorphophallus, so potato will be shrunken after 1 or 7 days or 14 days. But if you see the Suranam amorphophallus, you can say that it will be staying like that for more than 1 year. So it indicates that this tuber has having a predominance of Prithvi Mahabhuta. So that is the one way. And another is, if it is emitting a particular smell, Gandha Pradhanam, then that also indicative that the Prithvi Mahabhuta is predominant. And if you are observing a matter which is having a black or black combinations, then also we can say that Prithvi is the predominant thing. Because the color of the Prithvi Mahabhuta is black and black combinations. And one more thing we can observe is such a type of Prithvi predominant things are having a globular, round, or oval like structures. So a matter which is having such a type of round, global, or oval like things, which is having an outline of somewhat round in shape, then along with that, it is having a heavy bulk and stable nature and it is emitting the smell, then surely we can confirm that it is having a predominance of Prithvi. And such a matter has having the taste of Madhuram and Kashaya. And that is the predominant thing that existing in that matter. So when you are observing a bark of a tree, and that bark of the tree is black or blackish in color, and it is very huge, and it is having a very big mass, and if you cut out that bark and keep it in somewhere 3 or 4 years, it will be like that, and it is stable, and along with that it is emitting a smell, then it will surely having a predominance of Prithvi Mahabhuta. And such type of things are having a Madhuram and a Kashaya, sweet and astringent tastes. And another matter which is having a Dravatum, liquidity, a flowing nature, cold in nature, and a heaviness is there, and a Snigdhatum, unjust in nature, and Manda, a very slow movement, dull in nature, and the Sandram, and it is very dense. Such a diverse matter which is having a blue or blue combinations, then we can infer that it is having the predominance of Jala Mahabhuta. And it is having a very good taste perceptual qualities. And usually it will be a Madhuram, Amlam, and Lavanam like that. So if you are observing a plant material which is having such a type of character features of blue and blue combinations along with the liquidity, cold, heavy, unjust, dull, and dense, then we can infer that it is having the predominance of Jala Mahabhuta. The better example and easily understandable example is the sugarcane. Ikshu. So if you look the sugarcane, you can see that it is a yellowish, bluish in color, and it is having a very liquidity called heavy on just dull and dense. So if you take 2 or 3 drops of this Ikshu rasa, sugarcane juice, and keep it in a glass slides or a glass surface, you can see that it is slowly moving downwards. And after moving downwards, if you observe, you can see that there will be some deposits are there, or a marking of the flowing of that particular area is there. That shows the Santrada density. So these are the property of Jala. So Jala is the matter that can provide to Jivanam, Pledanam, like features, and it will bind out the structures. So one which help to binding the structures is the Jala Mahabhuta.